Our blackberries have been blooming for about a week. These are the tame ones, but the wild ones are also blooming. And we have had a spell of cold weather last weekend, down into the 30s, so I'm sure that was blackberry winter. It's turned out to be a beautiful day in the southern mountains of Appalachia. We've had several days of rain this week, so it's kind of been an airish, rainy week, kind of cool rain. But today, it looks like it's going to be really warm and be a beautiful day. Earlier this morning, we went down at Granny's and we got everything took care of down there as far as getting the gardens turned over, and then stuff that we had not tore down since last year still hanging there, the bean vines and the pea vines and the some of the tomato stalks and stuff that was dried and still standing there from last year, so we got all that cleaned up. So later in the week, or even if it's next week, we'll be ready to go, ready to plant down at Granny's. So Matt and I like to planting by the signs, it's called, like following the moon phases, the phases of the moon, the zodiac signs. And I have a video I'll link to in case you'd like more information. But because of that, this weekend it's not a good time to plant, so we're not going to plant anything. And it's still kind of in that window of we could have another frost or two before true warm weather gets here, so that's another reason. But what we are going to try to do is kind of just like we did at Granny's, try to prepare all the beds so that when we're ready to plant, we'll just be planting. There won't be no, well, first we've got to fix this or first we've got to do that. So we did manage, a few weeks ago, we shared a video, we managed to get all those new raised beds on the bank. They're all filled, they're ready to go. We even put some onions in a couple of them, some of the onions I got from Satterfield's nursery. So we got all that accomplished. We've got most of the beds in the back here. We've got them all like with a layer of compost. We like to add compost each year, but we've not done anything to the ones in the front. Now we do have our cabbage planted down there, and we put a little compost as we planted the cabbage, but we've covered them to protect them from the cabbage worms. But as far as like where the beans will go, and the okra and the squash and the all zucchini and the kind of stuff like that, and the tomatoes down there on this far end, we've not put any compost there. So that's what we're gonna work on today. Since we knew we were going to have all those new raised beds, we got our friend who brought us the compost this year, we got him to dump it right here in the back so that it would be handy. Well, we've mostly used all of it we need back here, so since now we've got to get it back to the front, it's going to be a chore. But Matt's going to hook up the trailer, the little dump wagon that we have, to the four-wheeler, and he's going to bring it up here and we'll shovel it in, and then we'll take it down there that way. Still be a chore, but be much easier than carrying it in buckets. I've never been able to successfully grow foxgloves until this year, and it's only because I bought them from Satterfield's nursery. But aren't they lovely? Just look at that. Isn't that just the most lovely thing? They are so pretty, so beautiful. I got a few colors from them. You can see this one. Look down in there at that one. Oh, isn't it lovely? So pretty. This is the other color. You can see down in there. This one's not doing as good as the first two, but it is beautiful. Hopefully it will run its course and seed itself and come back next year. I hope so. The hostas are totally leafed out now. You can see this is the miniature ones on the back side of our house. I really love the little ones. I love all hostas, but I especially love these little ones. You see this one's kind of got a variegated leaf, and then this wonderful kind of blue-gray, and then the gold. Those are some of my favorites, and I just especially love these that stay small with the small leaves. You can see the teeny tiny grapes. Hopefully they'll continue to grow and produce well for us this year. These are our two more established grapevines that are on this trellis here, this cattle panel. And it looks like if nothing happens, they're going to be loaded with grapes this year. This is my favorite rose. It's just beginning to bloom. This one's about to open up, and then you can see some of the little buds. So this is an old-fashioned, old-timey rose. It smells so wonderful, but it only blooms one time. It'll bloom this, you know, it's about to bloom, so in the next few weeks it'll bloom, and then it'll be gone. It'll quit blooming until this time next year. But it's a rose that Granny Gazzy gave Granny, my mother, and so then I got a piece of it. I've had it for years and years, but I just think of it as Granny Gazzy's rose. It's just such a beautiful pink color, and then the smell is just amazing. This is a pretty little area of the garden right here. You can see the pretty little dianthus. I think my nephew got Granny that for Mother's Day last year, maybe, and she shared a piece of it with me, and you can see it's really spread. Then down here is some more of the miniature hostas, but this is a different color, and they really go well with that pink. And then right beside them, there's a nasturtium coming up. Hope that'll be pretty. And here's some of the beautiful petunias from Satterfields. Look at that lovely color. So pretty. There's some of the blueberries we'll get to enjoy when they ripen. We really cut our blueberries back this year. Really a hard pruning, so I'm not sure how many we'll have, but at least there's a few. We're going to try to enjoy a popsicle, but we've got a rowdy chicken. I think she just laid an egg. We did get a lot of dirt moved though, or a lot of compost moved. Didn't we?
We did.
And Corey got here to help right when we finished.
I know, I feel bad. I was doing gardening work at my house.
What was you doing?
I had a lot of plants in little pots that I haven't planted, and so I filled lots of bags with dirt and brought them up from under the house and planted those, carrying a lot of dirt and planting and moving stuff around. I'm pretty tired.
Well, sounds like you got a lot done too.
I think so. I tried to. Those plants were looking pitiful because they've been wet and their just roots are outgrowing the container, so hopefully they'll make a comeback and they won't all die.
It'll be alright. This time of the year we're always happy to get everything out of the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Quit watering it, and like Corey said, the tomatoes are getting taller and taller. I think we've actually got peppers growing in the greenhouse.
Get them things in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty much time in the next week or so.
Yep.
I was talking to my neighbor before I come over here, and she was looking at my stuff, and she's from Wisconsin, and she said that in Wisconsin they never did stuff until after Labor Day. Just because it's colder up there, so they wouldn't
Memorial Day.
Yeah, Labor Day September,
Yeah.
right? I always get those two confused.
That's all right.
Really, maybe L and M, Labor Day, Memorial Day. I mean, they are next to each other alphabetically.
Too, but
I promise
yeah.
I know the difference.
I know. I just
But I did mean Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Memorial May, M&M. Maybe I'll remember that. Anyways.
Yeah, it's amazing the different, like that, she can't plant, or they can't plant till then. And then, me and Matt was talking about earlier today, people further south, like Mississippi and Florida, of course, but Alabama, Louisiana, they're done way ahead of us, so they're already planting and eating and enjoying.
Yeah.
Our local produce stand has been bringing in some of that stuff from those places.
Strawberries.
And strawberries, and Granny got her a mess of white half runners. And,
Did she?
Yeah, and new
Already?
potatoes. When I took
Wow.
her last week, she cooked her green beans and then put her little potatoes in there, new potatoes. Yeah.
They're going corn yet.
They had
Not that I saw.
they had a few
Too
that
early.
day, but it didn't look good. I mean, I don't know.
Just not ready yet.
Too early for corn yet.
Yeah, I don't know where it come from. But the green beans were good, and new potatoes, and it'd be better when we're picking them from our own garden.
Yeah.
What does green beans take to maturity? 75 days or something like that? Maybe
Yeah.
more. I don't know.
It's around about that. Here anyway.
Yeah.
Got poor soul, it takes a little longer.
Don't you want to grow some beans in the beds up on the bank?
I do. Your daddy's gonna have to get us another cattle panel or
Cattle
two.
panels.
Yeah.
Try to do that this week.
Get me one while you're at it. Actually, get me two at least, maybe three,
Okay.
but definitely two.
They're so good to grow on. Me and Matt just love them. This is, I guess, the third year we've used them, or fourth year. Third or fourth.
Yeah, third I believe.
Yeah.
What I like about them is you just put them up and you leave them. Used to when we had to do the wiring and the stretch wire and then the seagrass string between them, you had to put that up and take that down every year, and I hated it.
Yeah.
I forgot to say, depending on when this video goes out, I made a video today of working at my house, so
Oh, okay. Well, this will probably
probably be first, right?
yeah, it will be.
What are you doing, plugging yourself?
Basically. I was thinking, well, I'd tell people they can see what I was doing. I'll have a video about it next week.
Yeah. So check out the Presley girls.
Yeah.
There gotta be a little money switch hands if you're gonna plug your videos on our videos. We're gonna have to make up a contract.
Make a
Get you
contract.
to sign it.
Okay. That's funny. I will say in that video I did direct people, or I will direct people to the video you did at Satterfield's.
Oh, yeah. I'm
So
wanting
that
to go
makes it
back
even.
and see little Quincy.
He's so cute.
And Betty and Pat, too,
Oh,
and
yeah.
everybody, but
You done get done with yours?
I did. I was hungry and cold, and hot, sorry to say cold, hungry and hot with all that, moving all that compost. You worked me too hard. You're always saying you're the mule. Today I was the mule. He was right there with me, though.
Hard work.
Yeah. We're gradually going to make it disappear. It seems like it was an awful lot this time somehow.
It's just cause where it is, we have to haul every piece of it.
Yeah.
We can't just, it's a little bit harder to get it where we need it from where it is than normal years.
I probably should have asked him to dump part of it up here and part of it down there if I had been smart, but I wasn't smart, so.
You're smart. You just weren't thinking of it at the time.
Yeah. Now, when he brings me some mulch in a week or so, should I ask him to do that? Some in both places, some up here and some down there? Or just all in the...
Put it all back down where we usually keep it.
Can I have some of that mulch if I need more?
Yes.
I still have some from y'all's house the last time though.
Yes, you can have some.
Thank you.
Amazing just to sit here and look up at the trees at how green they are. It's true green
Pretty
up.
well
It's
full
happened.
green.
Yeah.
Do you think it's happened earlier this year than normal or about the same?
About the same.
It is really green.
Yeah. It's still the bright, really bright green. As summer progresses, the kind of takes on a darker hue. All the leaves do, but this is like the new green.
I like it when it's this green.
I like all of it. I like to sit here and look at it like this, and then, well, I say I like all of it. There's one part I don't like. I like this green. I like the full green, even the wildness of summer. Summer, like in July, late July, it finally gets to this point where it just looks like it's just, can be no more growth, no more bounty, no more blooms, no more anything. It's like everything's just it's gone so wild, it's just gonna all deflate, you know. And it does. And then so in August, that kind of everything takes on the rusty kind of look around the edges. I don't like that. But soon after that comes all the beautiful colors of fall.
Fall is
All that up through there will just be beautiful. What we're looking at right now with the green will be, they put on their fall garments and it'll be stunning, just as stunning as this is. We live in Appalachia. Is a beautiful place, lots of beautiful places in the world, but I'm thankful we live in this part right here where we get to see those 4 distinct seasons. Such a beauty about all of them. Even winter, when it's the starkness of just the
naked.
Yeah, the nakedness. When Katie was little in the winter, one time she noticed my blueberry bushes. She said, "Mama, your blueberry bushes is naked. They're naked." She noticed all the leaves had fell off of them. Yeah.
Naked.
Your blueberry bushes is naked.
That's so funny. I don't like it when it's naked because it makes me sad.
Makes you sad. The
Yeah.
death of winter, kind of.
Look at a little scooter buddy.
I think that's there's a prettiness in that too. And of course we have evergreens here, so everything's doesn't lose its leaves. You've got the pine trees and the laurels and the ivies and what else, Matt? I guess that's about it.
Yeah.
So everything doesn't go away, but you do see the starkness of the trees. I think there's a beauty in it though. It does make a lot of people sad though, I guess, like Corey.
It just is naked, and I like it when it's full.
It's full and green like
Or
now.
even in fall, when at least there's some pretty colors to look at. Now if there's snow in the winter, I like that, but
Yeah, we didn't get no snow this winter.
no.
One snow, I think, was all, and it wasn't that much. Maybe a flurry or two another time, but one snow that laid. It was probably an inch, wasn't it? Inch and a half, something like that.
I'm still holding out for one hope. maybe before it gets real hot.
Well, if it snows before it gets really hot, it'll be
Hey, it did one year.
record book stuff.
You remember it snowed on the 6th of May?
It did, yes,
A
that's
big
true.
snow.
It was a big snow. Me and Matt were still living in Haywood County, and he had to come after me at work. It was a big
It's
snow.
a big snow. It didn't last long,
No,
but
it
it was
didn't
big.
last long, but it was a big snow. So it's possible.
Up high, up in the higher elevations, it was over 20 inches.
Big, wet, heavy snow.
I've never seen that before. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
It was snow with greenery.
Yeah. Lots of tree damage.
Yeah, and limbs broke and trees broke. And that was strange.
So it's possible. We wasn't gardening in those days, so we wasn't worried about it, were we?
No, we was busy
too-
out running around.
Courting and,
Yeah, I guess courting.
yeah.
I'm sleepy. I think I could take a nap. I'm
Getting
tired.
sleepy.
Yeah.
We need a hammock back here in this part right here. It's pretty peaceful back here. Didn't y'all have some hammocks? Yeah. It's peaceful now that the chicken has laid her egg and settled down. Yawning.
I'm gonna start everybody yawning now.
Yeah. So we've had a really busy week. You might even had a busy week at work, didn't you? Just carrying refrigerators down steps and sheetrocking and what else? All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, busy.
Yeah. Of course, I've been in Cookbook Heaven with so many people. I'm so thankful to all the people that bought cookbooks this week. So still hadn't got them all shipped up, but I'm shipping away at it. Corey's helped me a lot. Corey's been helping me. We've been bombarding the post office in Brasstown every day. But Bobby, he's the postmaster. He's our friend, so he welcomes us. Yeah, shout out to Bobby. He helps us, and he don't get too mad at us, I don't think.
If he does, he hides it well.
Yeah. Of course, we have wonderful ability. Thankfully, Katie already, she's got with her business, she already knows the ins and outs of all that. She's had to know it for several years. It would just be really a pain if you had to take that much to the post office every day and stand there while they actually did it all. So we can do postage online, in other words, is what I'm saying. So that makes it easier. So when we take it to Bobby, all he has to do is scan it. He doesn't have to actually print all the things for us, which is really nice and makes it go faster. And I'm sure he's appreciative of that too. If we had to stand there forever, that would just get...
Oh, it just wouldn't work. The post office is too small. Even if it was a big one, you can't stand and ship 200 things.
Right, and it just takes so much time, for sure. It takes so much extra time. So I'm glad that we can do that, and so thankful again to everybody that's bought a cookbook. We really, really appreciate it. You made us feel very special, very special. But it's been a busy, busy time with that and everything else we have going on. It's all good though. All that is the cookbook, the extra busyness is. Jim Casta and I worked on the cookbook for a long time. I think over 2 years. In between when we found the right publisher that wanted to publish it, and then all the fine-tuning and all the writing and all that kind of stuff, all the pictures, finding all the pictures and taking extra pictures. So it's been a real journey, and I could have never done it without Jim. I've already told you that. It's the truth. He's the one that encouraged me, showed me the way, told me what to do. In the beginning, I said, well, when he convinced me I should do it with him, I said, well, you just have to give me homework like I'm a student and tell me what my homework is. So that's basically the partnership we had. He's wrote so many books over the years. He knows all the ins and outs. Very, very experienced writer, outdoor writer. If you're a outdoor type person or hunting and fishing, if you enjoy it, or someone in your family, you definitely should check out Jim's website. I'll put it in the link below, I'll put the link in the description below. But check out his website. He has a free newsletter he sends out once a month. You can subscribe to that, but also on there you can find his books that he's wrote over the years, but then he also sells books. So just a great resource for anybody that's interested in the outdoors. I'll be sure to put that. There is one thing that's kind of got us all down and making things a little bit harder for us in the last few weeks, is Matt's mother, Miss Cindy's, not doing well. So it's kind of been a tough on all of us, but mostly tough on her to try to figure out what's going on. Everything led us to believe, and even her to believe, that it was some type of dementia. And that's something nobody ever wants to find out or hear, or I can't imagine that of all the things that would happen to you, to feel like you had lost who you are would have to be the most fearful and hard thing. Anyway, but she is the epitome of the old saying, healthy as a horse. She just is healthy as a horse. So she's never had any cause really to go to doctors very much or anything like that. So it goes to the gym. Before all this happened, went to the gym every day for 10 years and worked out, eats well, does all the things you're supposed to do. So that was kind of even, harder to understand how she could be suffering from dementia. But of course, once we began to take her to the doctor and they began to do tests and all that, we were hoping we'd find an answer if that's what it was, what the prognosis was. Well, it turns out that it wasn't dementia, it's actually cancer. And it's affecting her brain because it's likely somewhere else in her body that's metastasized to her brain. So they were able to give her some medication it's actually her brain was swelling. That was what was causing the confusion and the other issues. So the medicine's already worked wonders, and it's only been like, what, Corey, 3 days? About 3 days?
That's the power of steroids.
That's the power of steroids, yeah. So she's already feeling more like herself, you know, all those things, which is wonderful, but the prognosis is not good. And we have our first appointment Monday with the cancer specialist, so we'll know more after that. But we would ask that all of you pray for her and pray for us. We're certainly not the only people that has went through something like this. So I know a lot of you have shared in the comments about hard times that your families had, and you know, things, even when we were thinking it was dementia, every time someone would leave a comment that said they had been taking care of their husband or their wife or their mother or their father, my heart would really go out to you, because I thought that's kind of what we're doing just in the beginning stages, but having to really lean in and help her with, you know, taking her stuff to eat several times a day and making sure she's safe and all, you know, all the things you do. So we pray for you, and we'll ask that you pray for us. We are very heartened that in the last, like I said, at least, you know, it's so wonderful to be able to see her with a clear mind. She is a very astute, smart person, very thoughtful, she's a thinker. She's one of those people that's a thinker, that studies on things. So then to see her confused and not understanding was really tough, and to drastically see the improvement has been a miracle, Corey.
Oh yeah.
Of course, we know that things still look really bad. The doctors have not sugar-coated anything for us or anything like that. But anyway, that's just added to the. It's kind of like it's added to the busyness on us, on all of us. But it's like that's life. The sweet of the cookbook being such a success. Always the sweet of the spring and the gardening together as a family. Me and Matt, you know, really enjoy that, and we really enjoy growing food for our family to eat. We enjoy the canning process, and of course eating that first wonderful, we're looking forward to the first kilt lettuce, which will probably be in the next week, maybe even tomorrow. And but then also the sad with what we're going through with Miss Cindy. But that, such is life, for sure. We really do, though, feel like YouTube is a large, big platform, and there's a lot of you, and you've not met us in person, but so many of you tell us that we feel like family, you know, that we feel like, you know, we have to share things with you, even if it's something sad like the news with Miss Cindy. I wouldn't want to not tell you, and then, you know, heaven forbid if something happens to her, and then have to explain it all. And I feel like, well, I would have left out my family. You know, I really do feel the same way about all of you, that you're like family to us too. And certainly you've supported us to let me do my dream job, is to celebrate Appalachia full-time, make a full-time living at it, and been there for our family in so many different ways, from the cookbook to the calendar, the e-cookbook, watching the videos, all those things. We just could never say thank you enough. We appreciate you so much, and we do pray for you, and you know, we serve a loving God, and we know He can do all things. And as we pray for you, we'll be thankful if you pray for Miss Cindy and for us. Another sweet part of the sweet today that we got done was getting Granny's garden done. I figured she would, Corey don't know that, your daddy plowed or tilled Granny's gardens this morning.
Okay.
I figured she would hear us and come out, but she didn't. And I thought, well, because we knew we wanted to hurry it up and do that and then hurry up and come up here and work. And so I thought, well, I won't go in and tell her. I won't bother her, maybe she's doing something. But when we got back home, I had to call her about something else. So I said, didn't you hear us? We were down there and Matt tilled up your garden. And she said, no, I didn't hear you. Y'all were outside and I didn't even hear it. And I said, no, well, that's okay, but we got it all tilled up. It's ready to go. And this week, maybe I'll help you plant some stuff, in a couple of days or whatever. But she got so excited. She's like, oh my goodness, you tell Matt I owe him. I'm going to owe him. I'm going to have to pay him back. She was just all on top of the world about getting her garden tilled. And we've wanted to till it. It's just, again, one thing and another. And Miss Cindy's kind of become our first priority for right now, for sure. But Granny was so excited. And nothing she gets more excited about than crochet and the possibility of green beans, right? She's possibility of green beans. She's got 2 little beds, and the one does pretty good, and Pap had started it. Well, actually, he'd started both of them before he passed away, but since he passed away, Matt and I have really tried to enrich her soil just like we did the soil up here. What have we done? We've put
mulch on it and compost and that sort of thing. Same thing we do here.
Yeah, and then till it under. Anyway, so it's one of them gets way more sunshine though, and that one does pretty good on it. It's real small, but it does pretty good. But the other one's getting so shaded, it doesn't do that well. And me and Matt last year tried to convince her not to plant in it, but she wouldn't have that. And then the wonderful cattle panels we put down there too, well, we'd already put them up in that bed, so there's just no stopping her. She got out there with a hoe and hoed her up some places just underneath and planted her some red hull peas, and they did do really good there. So this year I told Matt, I said, you might as well go ahead and till underneath that, because if not, she'll be out here with a hoe again trying to dig it up. She's all about the gardening, Granny is, even though she's not really able to do it anymore. She just gets so excited about it. What was she telling me and you, Corey, the other day about when Daddy was still alive and he'd have his garden, about how she'd go down there and pick green beans on Saturday, and
she'd only go for enough to cook Sunday dinner, but then she'd get enough to can.
Yeah. And she'd just say, it was just so, I'd do so good, it'd just be the best thing. I'd just go down there to, like she said, get a mess for Sunday dinner, and then before I knew it, I had a cannon. That's her 2 things is green beans and crochet. Well, I think I heard that Matt and Katie and Nick may go fishing. Is that true?
I guess.
Can I go?
Myself up.
Oh, can I go? Corey wants to go. Yeah. If you can get yourself up. Yeah.
If I go, there may be a fishing video in the near future.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You got
Maybe
license?
better than that. You got license, Corey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Better than that would be some fish in the near future in my kitchen
That would be nice.
that we could eat. We had fish that Austin and y'all did a video about that. Austin and, or it wasn't you, but Austin and his daddy caught
'em.
last weekend when Corey was down there with them.
Crappies, which I learned some people call crappie.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
No, we say crappie.
Crappie.
Yeah, but they were so good. So good. We eat on them about 3 days, didn't we? And then Matt had a fish at work.
In the middle of all that, so I've eaten fish about all week.
Yeah.
You're sick of fish.
Yeah.
I do have 2 steaks in the fridge, remember, that have to be cooked.
I'm gonna have to get some of Corey's water. I think I swallowed a bug.
Oh no. You know, one time, I promise I'm not lying, one time one of them little gnats flew up my nose, and from my nose it got down my throat. It was like the worst sensation I had ever felt.
Sometimes food can come out your nose. Have you ever heard of that happening to
Katie
people?
told me that milk has come out her nose before, but I've never had anything come out my nose that wasn't supposed to.
Was it Pap that had a green bean come out his nose?
Ouch!
It was either Pap or my Aunt Faye. I can't remember.
A green bean out your nose.
Somehow, yeah.
You must be eating in some real bad ways if that happens.
I don't know.
That's not right.
Well, we thank you for stopping by and visiting with us today as we worked in the garden, worked on making our garden. Pretty soon we'll be able to plant it, and that'll be wonderful. Hopefully we've kind of got it all ready, so it'll just be the plant and it'll be easy, right, Dad?
No.
Maybe. But as always, we're really glad that you stopped by to help us celebrate Appalachia. All right, Corey, wait a minute. We need some kind of thumbnail. With your creeper. That's probably pretty good. Look at these two over here.
You mean chickens or the people?
Aunt Katie. How are you calling them, chickens?
No.
Just teach them always.
How's Olive been?
No, we've been outside. I think she's been okay. I woke myself up coughing last night.
Maybe you swallowed the bug
I
when you
must have
slept in?
some.
I swallowed a bug one time that come out my ear.
I think that's right.
I must have some nasal drip or something going on. Who's texting you?
Daddy. Texting me pictures.
Of what?
Hogan store.
Where's that at?
Right there next to Ronnie's house.
I
Oh,
don't want to go back
he's
there.
been to visit Ronnie.
I
He
don't
told me
want
he
to
was
go
going
there.
to.
we need to plan and go down there.
Alright.
Fish time.
Yeah. Check on Olive time.
Cookbook time for me.
Well, I need to help you with the cookbooks.
No, you can go fishing.
Or I can help you with the cookbooks when I come back.
Yeah.
I wish my stupid skin would stop breaking out because I feel ugly.
I'm not
I feel like
ugly.
a gross ugly
I'm
ugly.
not ugly. Look at our
Dad.
potatoes.
Mm,
What are you
massive.
telling him? What are you doing telling her she's ugly?
I didn't say a thing.
He made a face that said I feel like a gross ugly ogre, and he was like, like, yep, you are.
Yeah,
Well, I
look,
wasn't going to say nothing. Since you mentioned it.
I'm sorry, I don't mean
You're
to.
hideous. Turn away from me. Turn your face.
look at our potatoes.
Mine are
They're
that big
huge.
too. My neighbor was like, what is that?
Look at these over here, this stand of potatoes. Aren't they
Yeah, those
good?
are big.
No, that's good.
My neighbor was like, what are those? And I said, those are potatoes. And she said, they're going to make potatoes in that? Because she just used to them being in the ground. And I said, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. You
Yeah, like
mean
versus a
like
grow
not
bag.
a grow bag, yeah. So we've got those in the ground. Reckon we should heal them up like people do, or just let them do whatever they do. You know,
Is it going to rain
That's a little
tomorrow?
late to heal.
I guess you're right.
Is it going to rain tomorrow?
I think
Yes.
so.
Because I didn't
It's going to rain
water.
tonight and tomorrow.
I didn't water none of my stuff. Because it was so waterlogged
Right
from
before
being...
the big snow that's coming.
I didn't water none of it. I was like, oh well.
If it come a big snow, wouldn't that be something?
That'd probably mean that, like, I don't know, the...
Wonder. It
climate
makes me
finally
wish I could go back to
messed
that
up.
when it snowed that time when we lived out there. I wonder if it did. I guess it did get some people's. I mean, cover up some people's gardens.
Oh,
They
yeah.
would have started by then. We just wasn't concerned with gardens.
Some old fella said one time, I've heard this ain't snow every month of the year. I said, nah. I don't believe that.
Not here, maybe Alaska
Maybe it was
or
frost.
somewhere.
It may have been frost. And I don't
Well.
believe that either.
No.
It'd be funny
Not
to
here.
see a frost in July. That would be weird.
But what's crazy right
Or
now
August.
is there are places up north where they're still getting snow.
Oh
in May.
yeah, definitely.
Or even like in Oregon, Washington, I mean certain parts of it. Washington State, I mean.
Yeah.
it's interesting, and I have a friend that I correspond with in Australia, and he's about to go into winter. Like their summer's dying down, and we're just going into summer.
Opposite.
I know one place that there's never been one single snow flurry ever in the history of time.
Where?
The Lake of Fire.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Ninani might agree with you on that.
Ninani.
We need to go see Ninani.
Oh man, he is so funny. Those chickens are so weird. They literally can turn their head 360.
Yeah, they're preening.
I know,
they're picking all their
creepy.
bugs off or whatever.
It's weird.
They got.
They're so spastic. Katie said their heart rates. Katie, how fast is a chicken's heart rate?
Gosh.
They're just all the time like. That's weird.
How do you know?
That's why they can pick out, like if you have one speck of dirt on your leg, they can pick it out and pull it off.
Well, dirt is a color. I mean, how do you know? How do they see in colors we don't see? I mean, what colors is there that we don't see?
She's about ignorant. She just makes stuff up.
I mean, it just really disorienting.
Yeah.
Everything's too much color and everything, it's like
They probably breathe underwater too.
Your daddy said you're making that up.
not either, it's real.
They can breathe underwater. They probably swim in the lake.
Can they scuba dive too?
You know, hawks can see in color. Hawks can see better than a human.
Hawks can see without any eyes.
They can see way better than a human, and they can see
They got
in
good
color.
eyesight, that's fact. They have to have in order to be able to eat. Because they can see little bitty tiny things that they eat from way up yonder
You know,
while they're moving.
they fly at like 20 to 40 miles an hour, but when they dive, they can get up to 120 miles an hour when they dive.
Gosh, that's crazy.
If you ever seen one, it makes sense
It'd be
because
bad if you hit a limb, wouldn't it?
yeah.
Crazy.
Austin said that last
we
night he
Yeah,
saw
we done.
one carrying a snake going across the road. I was like, whoa.
It's like what we seen.
I
The
seen one
rabbit.
carrying a spare tire.
Gosh, that'd be a.
He was hungry.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be a big
I
haul.
had to go.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
I still gotta go see Thomas and his hawk before he sets her free. Tawanda.
Set her free. That's the one carrying that hawk.
Or the, yeah. Oh, Mama, I'm sorry.